Can you tell us more about your experience at Facebook? Like, how did you apply for it, and what was the process?
Sure, yeah. So when I was part of the design challenge that I did that I just showed you, I was part of this on-campus like club or RSO that was called Pixel Husky, and I worked with a lot of a lot of upperclassmen that were some of them that interned at Facebook in the past, some of them that are now full time at Facebook. So I was kind of working with people that had worked there, and I would hear a lot about like culture at Facebook, which is predominantly the reason I was really interested in working at Facebook. So I guess so when I say culture, it really means kind of like the vibe I felt when I was there. I know this is something I learned only while I was there, but this was also something that I would constantly learn about when I would talk to like my friend Matthew, who's now at Postmates, and he was back in the day. He was working at Marketplace and Facebook. Like my friend Justin, who's also at Facebook Seattle now. So one thing that I would like, they would always say was like Facebook is very like design driven. Um, like designers are kind of at the forefront of like product thinking, like product strategy at Facebook. And I think that speaks a lot about their culture, because like traditionally I'd only worked with, like designers that worked with or like places that worked at outside of like Facebook and Academy, I guess, where the traditional design process was, hey, like this is something we want to build, go make those mock-ups. And at Facebook, it was like, hey, the designers kind of choose what to work on and like, okay, what are we building here? Like, what is that we want to build? So designers are really part of at the forefront of like that product strategy process, like the product process, I guess. So this is something like as I said, like Matthew and Justin would always talk about. And it's again, it speaks about the culture there. Like everyone's super like, I remember the first time I walked into office, like I really felt like the energy, like the excitement, enthusiasm I saw, and everyone like genuinely believes in this like company mission. Um, and so that kind of presents like this opportunity to like develop your skills and pursue your passion. And when I say like the company vision, it's people at Facebook really care about your personal growth too. Like it's not just about like, sure, they're all working on this like Facebook vision, I guess, but at the same time, your PMs, your manager, your product design managers really also care about like how you are growing as a product designer. Like I remember during my midpoint reviews or like final reviews during the internship, like my manager would always talk about how she had this network of people that she'd worked with in the past, and she wants me to like not like explore, like I'm a young designer right now, like I'm just starting out, and she's like, hey, if you get the chance to like talk to these people, maybe in the future you should work for this company or for that company. Like she'd worked at Medium, Intercom, like different places. And so that is very telling of what the culture is like they just don't care about the project that you're working on, but they also really care about like, hey, like has this internship, like have you learned stuff that you wanted to learn? Like how does it contribute to like your design journey? So in that regard, I think all of these things combined like really inspired me, motivated me to like work there. As for applying, so shout out to Matthew Farmer, I just mentioned. He was part of Pixel Husky. Now he works at Postmates. But when I would talk to him about this, I applied through like an employee referral. He referred me to, while he was working there, he referred me to work there too. So so I guess this is also something like a lot of people talk about, like referrals in general. One of the misconceptions that I'd like to clear is having a referral doesn't guarantee you that you'll get a job. Sure, the one thing that a referral really does is to a certain extent it makes sure that your application is at least viewed, I guess. I know people like there's chances that you can get referred and maybe you don't hear back. There's chances you get referred, you hear back and don't end up with the job. And then there's chances that you get referred, you hear back, and obviously you land the job. So yeah, like it definitely helps like building that network. Like it kind of helps you get that your foot in the door.
Yeah.
But don't treat it as like gospel. Like don't feel like, like, hey, if I have a referral, I have a job. Like,
Yeah.
so see, like if you apply on like Facebook's careers page and you hear back and someone gets a referral and hears back too, now you're at the same start line. Like once you hear back from a recruiter, it's on you. Like that's all the referral does. It'll get you to the start line, but it is up to you for you to cross that or like kick it off. So that's just how I applied. And so yeah, referrals, sure, it goes a long way to get your foot in the door. Like it's a hard industry to break into. So building that network and like reaching out to people is certainly something you should be doing as a designer, or even just in general, like if outside of the design world, just in like the work world, I guess. So that is how I ended up applying. Matthew referred me to Facebook, and then a couple months in, I heard back from a recruiter. So it starts off with like you filling out like a questionnaire, and then they kind of brief you on like, hey, this is what the interview process is like. So that's how I ended up with my internship at Facebook. Yeah.
That's nice. And yeah, that's it's true about referrals. Like it just gets you noticed maybe more, but afterwards it's
Yeah.
all on you. So can you tell us more
Yeah.
about
Like
how?
I feel like so for even for referrals, like it really the way it helps is like if you're asking someone for a referral, there's a good chance you probably work with them, so they
Yeah.
kind of know what your work ethics like, what your skills are like, or like what you like. I'd worked with Matthew at Pixel Husky, so he really knew what my work ethic was. So like if he respects that, he would send in a referral for me. So it's also important to, I guess, ask the right people for it. Like I would not ask a random person for a referral. That would be like, sure, they might refer you, but if they don't know like what your work ethic's like, I think that's just kind of weird to me. But yeah, it again, like going back to that, it gets you to the start line, and then it's basically up to you if you get through the interviews or not. So, and that is true for every company. Like that's true, like that universally. Yeah.